Hi there guys, Neil at Italia Autos here. Welcome back to another video on my channel. Behind me we have a super rare Alfa 156, but it is a super rare old girl. So let's have a look over it and see if it costs as much to repair as the garage quoted them. So the customer bought this car from auction. It was a no reserve auction. The vehicle has done 117,000 miles, 116,000 miles. Well, unfortunately it's from a deceased estate, so that's why somebody's got rid of this one. So there's probably not much wrong with it other than age related stuff, but it is the super rare V6 Q system. So that is like the automatic version of the V6. So when the customer got the car, he did the right thing, took it to an Alfa specialist near where he lives and got them to check it over. And unfortunately it came back that it needed about £10,000 worth of work doing to it. Now luckily the customer sent me the quotation on this and I was like, a lot of this work might not need doing. This was before I'd actually seen the vehicle. All he wants it to be is a nice, reasonably looking 156 that's MOT passable. He doesn't want a brand new show car. So let's go over it now, see what he's got, and let's see how much he's spending on it. Now for those that regularly watch the video, it's going to be a different format today. I'm going to start the look around from the back of the vehicle. So we have an exhaust, we have a number plate, we have all the badges, we even have a rear badge which isn't in too bad of a condition. Looks like it's going to want a rear wiper blade. That's looking a bit sorry for itself there. You know, I mean, first impressions, other than the original side skirt peeling off, it doesn't look like a bad car. I mean, there's a little bit of rust down the bottom of the wings down there. There's nothing sort of along the front edge of the wing. Alloy wheels look fine. No major scratches, a little bit of peeling. Slight story with the front grille. Unfortunately, the bonnet had seized shut, so I've had to break the grille to give me access to the engine bay. But no, it's straightforward. It's a nice looking car. Again, a little bit of rust down the bottom of the front wing there, and side skirt is coming off a little bit. And not the original alloy wheels for it, but they still look pretty good for the vehicle. A nice set of GTA tele-dial alloy wheels looking nice on that. But yeah, there's barely a scratch on it for what's essentially a 25-year-old car, 24-year-old car. These will want repainting, only like a satin black colour, but they're easy enough to take off. Same on both sides. A little bit of rust coming through on the front edge of the windscreen, as they all seem to do at this age. A little bit of fading on the wing mirror base and the scuttle panel for the wipers. I'm pleasantly surprised, you know. On the surface of things, it looks like a pretty good car. I don't know at the minute how much he paid for it, but I'll pop that down below now. Let's have a look on the interior and see if it's as nice as the exterior. It has got like the whitey creamy grey interior. I'm not a fan of that just because of how dirty I am in my profession. It's not a good thing to be. Right, let's have a look over this then. It's all standard. That's the Q system gearbox with all your little buttons and selection modes. It's done 117,000 miles. Let's start her up. Now I have already had her running and she's almost up to temperature. So for those out there that don't like me revving engines when they've only been run for a few minutes, this one is sounding rather nice. It's nice, it's not dirty, there's no marks on it, there's no major wear, even the driver's seat was okay. No warning lights on the dashboard. Nothing else to show you in here, it's all good. Even got the parcel shelf at the back with the dog guard on it. Now let's get underneath the bonnet. Pleasantly surprising. It looks as though it has had some TLC over the years because the engine covers have been painted. And the chrome inlets just have some like surface rust on them. So they're not too bad at all. The air filter box lid is still intact. We've even got the little cover for the battery, although it is broken. Coolant looks nice and fresh. Brake fluid is reasonably clean, it looks okay. Power steering fluid is good as well. Air pipe is in good shape from what I can tell on top. That's a little bit loose, so that one's tightening up. Everything looks in pretty good shape. So engine bay wise, I would say it wants a good clean-up. It probably wants the covers repainting and polishing. But as the cam belt's more than likely got to be done, all this has got to come off anyway when we change the water pump. I mean, all of that could be left as it is, to be honest. It's not an emergency that, there's never going to be an emergency that the engine covers need painting. But nothing particularly wrong with that at the minute. Right, let's have a look at all these suspension components. Spring looks, again, it looks relatively new. The shocker's a little bit rusty, but it's not an MOT fail, it's not leaking. There's a little bit of rust behind here, and I can see it's sort of gone through the first skin, so that may need welding this side. But yeah, the tyre doesn't look too bad. I can't see a date on it, but unfortunately, it is all cracking. So we are going to want some new tyres on this bad boy. The brakes, they're corroded, but that might clean up and pass an MOT. We won't know until we can give it a bit of a good drive. Pads have got plenty of life left in them as well. A little bit of rust down there on the sill isn't too bad. Can't see any rust along the bottom of the doors. Maybe there's a little bit under here where it's been stuck down. Rear springs are rusty, and there's corrosion all up in the suspension wells. I'd probably say most definitely rear suspension springs and shockers need changing, because that looks like that's about to rust through at the bottom there. Can I get it on camera for you? A little bit. Brake pipe has a little bit of rust at the bottom of it, but I wouldn't say that's an MOT fail. Rear discs seem reasonably clean. Plenty of life on the pads as well, if I can get it in there for you. Again, on this side, I'd say 2 new rear shockers and springs on this, because they just look a little bit crusty. And again, up behind there's plenty of rust there as well. So while that's out, I might as well treat all that rust as well. And again, for the rear brake pads, they're exactly the same. A little bit of rust coming through on the back here. Now onto the final wheel. Again, that is actually better on this side. A little bit of corrosion up top there, but spring is rusty, but it's okay. Same with the shocker, rusty but not leaking. So if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe icon and the bell notification so you can get notified whenever I put a new video out. But so far, it is pretty good. I mean, yeah, we need a couple of springs at the back and some shockers. That's not terrible, not a tremendously expensive job, as long as the bolts come out, of course. May want disc pads on it, but they're not tremendously expensive on these. But, you know, leave a comment in the description below. Let me know what you think of it so far. But as with all Alphas, it's the underneath where it matters. So let's get it up the rest of the way and see how much more welding is needed. Not great, but it's not terrible either. Let's have a look. Right, it has had a repair on the boot floor. It is full of pigeon weld. So there is no towing eye anymore for it. That can be cleaned up and painted over. Yes, it's not pretty, but it's underneath the car where you can't see it. Rear arms are rusty. Back plates have rusted away. So I'd say it's going to want a set of arms at the rear. Anti-roll bar links. So it's the rear end of the suspension is where it's the worst. Seeing if there's any play in the anti-roll bar links. Yes, there is a bit, so you want some anti-roll bar bushes as well. I'm just going to assume that these want changing. I'm not even going to bother messing with them, they're that rusty. It's only the back ones though, the front ones are okay. So that's a nice easy job to change again. Floor pan. I've seen a lot worse. Yes, it's going to want some welding here. Actually, I'm going to get a screwdriver on that bit. Right, certified MOT tool testing time. not too bad. It just needs a big patch, sort of 10 centimetres square, 15 centimetres squared. That's not too bad. And this side, oh, it's solid. I was expecting it to go through then. So that bit there, that's okay everywhere else. Sill. Yeah, we need some repairs along the sill there. Up here. I've got to say, what they getting out of 10 grand of repairs? I mean, to do a decent job welding, yeah, that's going to cost several £100. Rear suspension, probably going to cost, guesstimate, £800 to get all that done. Brake pipes, let's have a look at those. You've got a twist in that brake pipe there, can you see? So we're going to want to sort that out. Going to want to set the tyres all the way around it just because of the age. There's no holes in the exhaust. Front subframe, not amazing, but no holes in it. That can be repaired. Just for the fun of it, I'll probably say it wants some wishbones on it. We've got a broken CV boot. As you can see, it's leaking out there. This side is okay. It's had new anti-roll bar links as well, so, you know, this car has been looked after. The radiator isn't in the best of shape, so it may want a new one of those soon. It's, you know, there's no visible signs of it leaking, so we can get away with that for a little bit longer. Yeah, wants another CV boot on the inside there as well. As for oil leaks, it's not that bad. There's some coming down the front of the engine, which is coming from the gasket at the top there. It's probably coming from the back as well, which is probably causing this oil all the way down here and down this side. So I am extremely surprised that that isn't actually that bad. I was expecting several days worth of welding to be done on it. All the suspension wanted changing, loads of rust repairs in all the arches. Yes, the rear arches need sorting out, but it's not that bad. I do probably stand by my judgment that it doesn't need 10 grand's worth of repairs on it, especially if we just want to get it through an MOT. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments below, but you know, I think that's a perfectly salvageable car there. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe.